Hello there everyone, welcome back, and today we're taking a look at this. Now this, as you can clearly see, is not a stock blaster. If it was, that'd be pretty cool. Now, this is a custom blaster that I actually just finished building, which it essentially consists of two X-Shot Tek IVs that are sort of joined together in this monstrosity. Now, how this came about was that I was at a thrift store and I ended up buying a couple of Tek IVs, you see, and then I realized that, well, I already have a couple strong arms, so I don't really have a use for stock Tek IVs. Then I figured that I'd always wanted to make a custom blaster, so what better to use than these? So essentially, the modifications themselves, building bits, weren't actually terribly difficult. It's relatively easy. The internals are still all the same, so no real performance changes there. Essentially what I did was I disassembled each of the blasters, and then I took out the shell, all the internals, and set them aside. And then I spray painted the blasters themselves, so they have this interesting metallic silver color, which, if you ask why they're metallic silver, that's because that's the paint I had available. But anyways, I think it turned out pretty cool, and yeah, so I painted them. Then I sort of took a hacksaw to the bottom of the grips of each blaster here. So I cut off the bottom of this one, then the bottom of that one. And then I sort of joined them together with two-part epoxy. So that's how those were joined together. And otherwise, blaster itself is pretty standard. The internals, like I said, are all still the same. Not too much in it there. The Tek IV itself is a fairly nondescript blaster, so there's not a whole lot to go over for the performance itself. It's just it's pretty much the same as a stock X-Shot Tek IV, just that there's two of them, obviously. So it's a 4-shot revolver with two of them, and yeah, so it's not a whole lot to go over there. Just pull back here and then you fire it. Essentially just a standard 4-shot revolver type blaster. Not a whole lot to go over there. As for the cosmetics, besides the paint and the ergonomics, they're decent. I mean, spray paint does have a little bit of a habit of coming off in your hands, so that's not ideal, but what can you do? Besides, it's my first time painting a blaster, so give me a little of a break. So overall, it's an interesting project. More of a proof of concept than the actual battle-effective blaster, especially given the fact that they aren't exactly level. So you can see there's a bit of a slight angle, which can't say it doesn't really matter, because even the waffle head darts aren't the most accurate things in the world, but I digress. Suppose what you came here for was to see them actually firing, to see this monstrosity, this contraption in use. That's what I'll do. A bit difficult to prime it, given the strange setup of it, but let's go for top barrel first, then bottom barrel. Accuracy is a bit of an adventure here, sort of have to eyeball it, and bottom barrel. Well, that wasn't a great shot. Let's try both of them at the same time. Oh, it didn't work. Will it work this time? See what happened there. So, essentially the nature of this modification, however it worked, means that for some reason these keep popping out, which means that you can't get a good air seal with them, so it means they don't fire, which what happens then is what happened just then, so it's not ideal, but can be worked around. You just have to keep an eye on it. But it is, like I said, not actually a battle-effective blaster, and if you were, for whatever reason, to make something similar, don't expect it to be, else you might be a bit disappointed, if I'm going to be entirely honest. Okay, let's try that again. Both barrels. Yeah, This thing is accurate out to about 5 feet, and okay, uh, firing demo over. That's overall about it for the blaster. Not a whole lot else left to go over. If you make something similar yourself, maybe get one that doesn't have barrels that pop out about as often as the darts. And overall, for my first largely custom blaster build, I think it worked out better than I expected. It's more of a proof of concept than anything else. I think it's rather interesting as a design in itself. It's definitely not perfect. It definitely has its quirks, especially with the firing performance. And I'm sure the spray paint will wear off over time, as it has already started to do onto my hand. But overall, there's not a whole lot else left to go over with this. And yeah, so it's a fun design, probably more interesting to build and actually finish and to actually use, but it's normally par for the course with a lot of these custom blasters, especially ones that are more of a proof of concept or a joke than anything else. So that's about it for today, and I hope you have a good day, everybody.